We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents' Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents' Lounge is the cure to staying sane.
Hello and welcome once again to the Parents' Lounge. I'm Jason Gown. With me, as always, our lovely co-hostesses, Claire Kramer and Kate Mulligan. How are you, ladies?
You know what? I'm doing great just because I love the pictures of Claire and I in the opening and all of our kids. It's just
I've really been responding to those a lot.
Yeah, I just feel like I love that one where I had twins and was married to you, Jason. Oh wait, no, actually, oh no, we're not in the opening.
You know what? Talk to Jamie Kaler. He made the video. So if you want to be in there, you just he told you to get, if you want pictures in, he specifically said,
Jason, do you want me to send him pictures so that he could send them to you to redo a video? Because that's exactly what's going to happen.
He did the opening. He did it.
Information.
Yeah, yesterday he told Jason to build a show. And I was like, Jason is the only one that builds the show. What are you talking about? Am I wrong?
No, I do all of it.
Okay, just saying.
Jamie Kaler is not here tonight.
So we're going to bag on him.
That sounds fantastic.
He's already celebrating St. Patrick's Day. His redhead Irish type.
Yeah.
He is at a movie screening this evening.
Hey.
So he will not be joining us, but in his place, we'll have a much funnier gentleman. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight, you know him as pretty much the voice of everything ever, Mr. Carlos Alazraqui.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, all the co-hosts.
Hi.
Claire and Kate, whom I'll see on Saturday probably.
We're going to see each other on Saturday. Our kids
parents.
Guys, our kids don't play t-ball. Our kids don't play t-ball. We actually just date. Oh, shoot. You already told them? Okay, never mind.
Oops.
No, our kids are on the same. Yeah, what is it? It's like coach pitch?
It's coach baseball? Pitch baseball with soft hard balls.
Yeah.
It's every confused thing that you could say.
And then
it's
also
coach
they throw
pitch
it
until they hit off a tee, baseball, soft hard ball.
Mm-hmm. Go hit that ball when the coach pitches it to you, or if you don't in the first 4 tries, when they bring the tee to you. It's a great cheer that we all do.
It's basically like beekeeping. They just get all over the place, and you're like, what?
You know, I think my kids we just had our season opener for Little League last Saturday, or Saturday. I don't even know. One day this weekend. It was either Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday. And finally, both my boys, who are 8 and 9, tomorrow one of them turns 10, so 8 and 10 technically. Finally, they're both in like the kid pitch arena.
Oh,
but
wow.
Older one, his kid pitch is quite serious, and like some of those kids get out there and you're like, oh my God, what is happening? Sky, my youngest, he's the one where it's 4, if there's 4 balls from a kid pitcher, then the coach pitch comes in. But so instead of the tee, it's the coach pitch. But there was this coach who was pitching, and I swear to God, my son Sky, who's 8, was standing on the mound where he should have been, pitching, doing great. Like, yes, the coach came in pretty much every time after like 4 balls, couple strike, whatever. But still, like, doing phenomenal for just starting pitching at his age. This coach who came in sucked, man. He was like, he was literally like 9 or 10 feet closer than my little 8-year-old and throwing the ball like at the kids like this, Like some coaches think like if
like
you
a
just,
crappy close-up magician.
yeah, like if you throw the ball, the kids are gonna hit it. No. Give them a real pitch. You know what I mean? Off for real. So I was kind of like grumbling, and the other parents had to be like, "You need to simmer down, okay?"
It does get more serious. Like my daughter's a 10-year-old, and kids' little league is where you go to learn that coexist bumper sticker is bullshit. Forget about freaking.
That's the show. We're done. It's not getting better than that.
Forget about Islam and Christianity and Judaism. Fuck, Little League blows out all the shit.
Oh my God, that Prius owner. Prius owner is a real cunt on the field.
Yeah, real cunt.
I got my one. I got my one. You have to let me say it once.
Yeah.
It's my
favorite because Kate and I were discussing Afterlife with Ricky Gervais, and so if you watch that, you're gonna come away watching cunt. That's two for me.
It's two. Yeah, listen.
Alex.
It's honestly the way they say cunt, they might as well be saying barber. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds like a pastry item. I'll take a bear claw and a cunt, please.
Like, what is it? Spotted dip, and I mean, they even name their foods like very suggestive things. So,
but the only thing for me is that when I upload it to iTunes, I have to go in and I have to put what I do is I put a dolphin sound effect whenever the C-bomb gets dropped. So it's fine. It's not a lot of work. It's fine.
What's the dolphin saying? He's saying cunt, son. You got some work to do. Yeah, you got that shield. You can handle it, Captain Central America.
Yeah, listen. Exactly. Jason, also just maybe don't put this one on iTunes. Then they'll have to watch live next time. You hear me say, hey, why does it when they say Brit, it's really not a bad thing when they say Elizabeth Cunty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, Jason, you're Elizabeth Cunty.
Have you seen the movie Good Will Cunting?
Hey, cunt for the Red October. Anyone?
There you go. Right. All right, that's it.
That's it. That's it. Okay, sorry.
We're going to sound like feeding time at SeaWorld.
I mean, I'm just sitting here laughing, enjoying, like.
And this is water.
Well, speaking of, I did find, Jason, I sent you a picture this week. I did find a very suggestible toy.
Yeah, you definitely did. I will pop that up there.
Oh, wow.
I'm curious what you guys think. It says, I love you a whole lot. And there's
that's Brown-Eyed Benny.
That's, I mean, truly.
Yeah,
it's
really,
wild.
It really is
if you got boys and they're reaching puberty, you might want to take that out or wash it frequently.
I mean, it's like the pillow from Big Mouth, if anybody has seen that.
Oh,
also, that they say a-hole, like a-hole, like it's just like there's no question what that is.
Wow.
I'm going to subliminally flash that from time to time throughout the rest of the show. Just.
Oh yeah, that's please.
For the audio listeners, it's a butthole covered in sprinkles. Okay,
yeah,
that's what we're looking at basically.
Meant to be in donut. Oh, yes. Hello, backpacking dad. How are you? It is
Carlos, how you been? We haven't seen you for a little while.
I've been good here in my part of the valley and doing things like Little League practices and doing my voiceover work, staying busy, staying healthy. We've been good over here. We've been busy. I got my mom. I visit her at senior living and play the Yahtzee a couple days a week. So, Hollywood lifestyle. Woohoo! On the memory care floor. Mom. No, Mom, it's a small straight. Small straight. It's 30 points. She's like, 30 points. I go, it's always 30 points. So got mom, got kids. I got all the generations of life going. And it's fun, though. It's a dance, right? Everybody, it's a dance. So going well.
This is why I now think, sorry guys, going back to private conversations, Carlos and I are just going to pop in and out of those. This is why I do think you might like Derek, because it's at a memory care facility. Maybe not. I don't know.
Interesting. All right. Yeah. Because that's the Ricky Gervais.
Are you talking about Ricky Gervais, Derek?
Yeah.
I ugly cried during that.
I cried.
Okay.
I wept at that. And I know it's sort of like Leonardo DiCaprio and What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Like,
Sam I Am with, what's his name?
Yes.
It was
Sean
beautiful.
Penn.
It was a beautiful show.
Actually a beautiful show. And once you get past that, a comedian is playing a disabled special guy, and he's not doing it to be funny. And they're actually like, I don't know, just you can't. Like Dickie and I, yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying it might be
weird
worth
because
the
we
watch.
live in a cultural appropriation age right now where possibly he couldn't do that now, but
no, right.
It does harken back to old acting days where people would play different parts. But
yes.
Look at Daniel Day-Lewis in My Left Foot. You know,
yes.
I wonder if he would be allowed to play that role now.
It's a great question.
And he won an Oscar for that.
But honestly, who else would play it? You're gonna tell that story.
They would have found a one-footed. They would have found a guy. I actually have a joke about this, that the reason why Bran had to sit on the throne at the end of Game of Thrones. Sorry, spoiler, if you guys have been not watching Game of Thrones, but it was because there was a kid somewhere in Ohio who's like, I climbed a tower once because I love to climb. And then I saw a brother and a sister fucking. And then they kicked me out of the tower. And then I got paralyzed. And then in my paralysis, I became a three-eyed raven. That kid gets to look at the screen and say, there I am. I'm represented. It's just like, you couldn't possibly cast anybody that was, anyway, I'm just saying.
Finally, representation. Yeah.
Representation. It does matter, but it's not the only thing that matters.
But I think what we're enjoying about a series like the one you just mentioned and Afterlife is that the Brits are so good at embracing the sadness of life, in which the Americans will avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
Save the old classic Norman Lear shows like All in the Family.
Yep.
But we really are afraid of that. We really like be positive. Woohoo! You know, we rarely take those chances to really embrace the sadness of life and the fact and mortality.
Yeah, it's like
a hard
the
thing for us
gallows
to look at.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. And again, when you're having on both ends, I have a 94-year-old mom that reminds me that death is imminent, right? We're all going to get there. And also kids that are growing up fast, which is the passing of time. And it's like coming at you from both sides. You're getting older. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have that thing, Carlos, where people are, Jason or Claire, where people are like, oh, stop growing up to their kids? Because like, for whatever reason, I don't have that. Like, there's something about, I loved them as babies. I like to go back and look at them as babies, like in pictures. But like, if they went back, I wouldn't have them now. And I feel like they get so incredible every age that they are.
I would agree with that too. I like, they were adorable as babies, but I like the new experiences we're having. And Jamie has talked about this too, where he likes the ages they are now. Like they're like these little people that he can hang with. And it's the same for me. Like I love, I took just Jason, I went on this hike and like, at 2, I couldn't have done that. And he and I hiked up this whole waterfall, and it was a really cool experience that like 4 years ago, I couldn't have done with him.
Yeah.
What about you, Clara?
Oh, I love it. I mean, there is that thing about the baby phase where you're like, stop growing, because, I don't know. I did feel that, but my oldest is 14 now. Speaking of Little League, I got her a job at the snack bar. She's working the snack bar. She has a pet sitting business. She's
Gavin.
She's someone, and my daughter, who's also 12, both of them, I'm having like real adult, like interesting, in-depth conversations with about the world, about society, about, and it's really nice to be able to speak to a young adult in those formative years and like have them reciprocate. And it's kind of interesting because, I did all this research when I gave birth and like had the babies and breastfed, all the stuff, it was like all this baby center and research and message boards and da-da-da. And then I was like, why am I not doing that when they're tweens and teens? And like, now their needs are tenfold what they were when I was like the physical caretaker. Now I'm like the mental, emotional caretaker. And I've just in the last like 6 or 12 months taken on that, like that sort of gravity of that responsibility, that's huge, and so I've shifted my thinking a little to like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter about like the home cooked, meals as much as it does about like, where am I with you emotionally, and, the emotional intelligence, social interactions and stuff like that.
Don't worry about the home cooked meals. Worry about the home cooked love. Put it on an apron.
It's more dominoes up in here.
I think I enjoyed them when they were younger because there was a perception that I had some sort of sphere of influence over them when they were younger.
Yeah.
And then it just wanes like crappy old batteries and it just has no power anymore. But I will say this in a non-creepy way as much as it possibly can be said. I miss nudie swimming with the girls in our above ground pool.
Oh, yeah.
And they would jump in nude and go and pee on the grass and come back in. And that's way gone with Riley. And the young one is starting to pop. And I'm like, that's over. I can't get those back. But you hold them as memories, and I do enjoy them now. But boy, are they challenging, and they butt heads with mom. And Kate knows my wife Laura, Italian from Jersey, gabagool. She doesn't parry well.
How old are they? How old are
they? Are 8, and one's going to be 11 pretty soon. 8 and 10 and 3/4.
But also, Laura is probably the funniest human being I ever met. She's so deeply funny in like this very effortless way that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you have to work harder for that funny joke?
Stay out of the business. Stay out of the business.
Don't. I'm the one in the business in this family.
We watch Dateline. So we know.
Yeah.
We know.
Speaking of coming of age, so this week,
congratulations, by the way.
My son, we watched Turning Red that came out on Disney Plus this week. And my son informed me the next day at 6 that he had gotten his period.
So it's so exciting.
Yes. And I was moved to tears that he felt comfortable coming to me with that and not his mother. Who,
wow.
Also, Jason, without any spoilers, I actually am on a text
thread. Man, if we were
like,
living in Texas, I would report you.
Yeah.
Shit.
You better turn that little rascal in. No good comes of those sorts of comments. But truly, does Pixar really tackle periods in this movie?
I mean, to a degree. I mean, it's
because I'm on a text chain that was like, by the way, if your kids aren't aware of periods, you might want to prep them before seeing Turning Red. I'm like, well, that can't be real.
Jace, I don't know if I don't know exactly how he picked up on it because I don't feel like it was addressed directly. I mean, she's getting older. Her mom kind of alludes to it when she turns into a giant red panda. And so, I mean, there's the visual metaphors for all of that stuff, but I don't feel like it was over the line in any way.
They never referenced a crime scene in her pants.
Yeah. Not like that.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So then they didn't mention it. Got it. That's how we all talk about it.
No. They never called it Aunt Flo, or I mean, they never addressed it in any way like that.
But that's wild that your 6-year-old son gets his period the next day, and that my friends are telling me to address your period before your kids watch this.
Well, and he was also very moody. He was craving chocolate, and my biggest concern was that he and my wife's cycles would sync up, and then I have 2 messes here, so it was just kind of
but you want that.
Yeah,
do
honestly,
yeah,
condense it.
Otherwise, it's just like you want them to vote for that in the Senate, like daylight savings. You just want that all mandated periods at the same time.
You see, it's just
turn your period forward, son.
He has to
bring back.
I asked him the next day. I said to him, I said, "How's the period going?" And he looked at me and goes, "Dad, it's penis." And I was like, "Okay, all righty." And then at that point I checked out and I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So
okay.
Carlos, your oldest is a girl.
They're 2 girls with boy names, Riley and Austin.
Okay, my girls also have boy names. It's Gavin and River are my girls. So yes, I understand. Okay, so I ordered my girls. There's this book that's like the care and keeping of you. And you get the first one then when they're like 10, 11, and then you get my older one who's 14 has the second one, which is the care and keeping of you 2. So I'm wondering now that my younger boy is turning 10, is there a similar type book? This book is really great for girls. It talks about like everything from using deodorant to periods to how your body's going to change to like social emotional things. So I'm just kind of like, does anyone know of like a boy book?
I think all your boy needs is that little puppet with a hole.
I mean, truly,
it'll be fine.
Go get
no,
that.
there really isn't the equivalent, right? There isn't getting to know your body. It seems more taboo, right? That's all he needs. It seems more taboo to talk about that with your kids. That I met a mom. There was a basketball celebration camp right at a woman's house, and one of the moms, she's Australian. She came in, 13-year-old son, and noticed a bunch of tissues all over his room, and she's like, "I think we need to talk about what you're doing, and it's perfectly okay. It's a natural thing." And she said, I got into this whole conversation. She goes, "Mom, I truly do have allergies. What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh shit."
She's like, "All right, next time, bin them. Okay, put them in the bin."
Yeah.
I think I'll write that book though. I'll write, "So you got yourself a boner."
Yeah.
But that book would be like in utero. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Like the baby's first book, like I actually learned this recently, happens inside the womb. I mean, they come out, baby boys come out. I mean, Claire, you know this. Jason, you know this. They come out.
I have twin sons. They actually get them in tandem. It's kind of
it's like, yeah.
Sync boners and sync periods.
I feel like the book that I need to get my sons is, even if they say yes, it's probably no. Wait till you're married. I feel like that's the only book I can give my sons at this point.
Well, I mean, obviously with my 14-year-old, I am, I was she was at a pediatrician appointment this week, and I was like, and this and this and this, and when do I take her to the OB? And the guy's like, "The OB? You don't want her to be pregnant until she's 30. I was like, "Well, whatever, the guy knows,
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Don't be like that." And he's like, "Not till she's 18, unless she's sexually active." So, that kind of surprised me, because I was thinking like, oh, okay, maybe I established that relationship earlier so she feels comfortable. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that one out. But the 12-year-old, I did have to have a talk with her about condoms, because at her dance studio, somebody, I guess, pulled out a condom, and she like basically, if you know me at all, she lives at the dance studio. She's there 6 to 8 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week. And so I just decided with this topic, I just like dove in with like blinders on. I was like, did someone pull out a condom? Do you know what condoms are? Condoms are for this. And it was like crazy. And she was the one who was really embarrassed, because I was just like kind of calling it out. You know what I mean? So, but I am not looking for, I feel like since I'm a woman and they're two girls, I can relate on sort of a different level than me trying to talk about that stuff with my son. Like, I'm a little bit nervous, you know what I mean? Or when he hits that tween year.
I go right for the stereotype. Like, if it's from a male at a dance studio, you're okay, honey. It's not going to be for you.
You're safe.
By the way, carpool.
Also, if your daughter Carlos says that somebody pulled out a condom at t-ball practice, it definitely wasn't me, and I wasn't trying to teach her.
A cruel joke indeed.
To me, that sounds like an admission of guilt.
Yeah, but it is. It's good because that's why the earlier years seem easier. As you said, you're a physical gatekeeper rather than just a mental gatekeeper. Yeah. And you're not beginning to worry about the transition into their adulthood, them living apart from you, becoming sexually realized. There's so much more complexities entering into those ages. And it's like, whoa. I mean, and nobody's ever prepared for it.
No.
I think all the time, like, she's 14. I went to college when I was 17 in New York City. 3 years older. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what my parents were thinking, but
they're like, this one knows about condoms. She can go.
There you go.
No, but I didn't. I knew nothing. Talk about Ohio. I was the Ohio person who, like,
wow. What a difference.
Grew up super sheltered.
Yeah.
Did your guys' parents give you the talk? How was that?
No.
Mine either.
Yeah.
They did.
No.
See?
Yeah.
So my parents gave me, again, I guess this is where I got the thing with the books for the two girls. They gave me a book. Where did I come from? Okay. Oh. And it was like cartoon drawings and I was like, oh my God, this is more traumatic than
At what age though? What age were you?
8, 7, 8.
Okay.
So
the crazy thing is that it was a book about storks, and that was just a lie. It was just a lie. So from 8 till 16, Claire was talking about storks all the time.
So I have to look up this book because it was done. It was a cartoon book, but it was like done very graphically. And I'm curious now as an adult to look at it and see like, oh God, what were they thinking? But I decided with my younger sister, who's basically 4 years younger than me, to take matters into my own hands.
Okay.
And when she said she was probably 6 or 7. So I was like 10 or 11. We had a basement because it was Ohio. I locked her in a cabinet in the basement and I sat in front of it and I was like, there's no Santa Claus. There's no Easter Bunny. There's no and this is how babies are made.
Wow.
I just
that's like a kid smoke.
Were you just a Hello Man?
Wow. You really that was kind of Gitmo style.
Yeah.
And until she like said, okay, I understand. I would not let her out.
Also, though, there is something to be said about finding them all out at once. It's the same thing we were just talking about. If you can get everybody's periods on the same week, if you can get everybody at the same time. She didn't have to be disappointed on Easter and Christmas and when she heard funny noises from your parents' room,
That was an interesting subject. A woman asked on Twitter, should I tell my daughter that there's no Santa Claus? She's this age. And my wife and I, it's indelible that night when we told Riley, because she discovered a timestamp on a photo I did where there's parents' presents that come out under the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And then Santa presents. Well, she noticed Santa presents and the time was 9:43. It wasn't midnight until she started it. And we're like, oh, fuck, she's going to find out. And we just go, fuck it. There is no Santa Claus and there's no tooth fairy. And we saw her cry and we went, we just took her innocence. Oh, we can't get that back. It kind of hurt so bad.
Place to be in, though. I mean, you were kind of between a rock and a hard
place. And we're, they're going to learn it at school too. Somebody's going to say at school, there's no Santa Claus, right?
That's where I heard it.
Or some sister's going to lock you in the basement.
It's one of the two.
Right?
Yeah, but it hurt. We're like, you lied to me. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the thing I don't, they're still up. They can't hear me say this, but that's the thing that I struggle with is like, we talk about like, you never have to lie to us. Lying doesn't make you feel good. It's that you can just always tell us the truth. You'll find that if you tell us the truth, even if you've done something wrong, we can have a better solution for it than if you lie about it, then that, but like, what's my comeback when they're like, you've been lying to us? What do I say?
Okay, so my kids are like hyper, same thing, Kate. They're gonna like identify that and be like, well, this is a contradiction. You're a hypocrite,
Yeah.
Which they have called me before, and I'm like, whoa, why don't you slow your roll on that word? I'm doing my best here. But I'm always, with the Santa, the Tooth Fairy, these things, I kind of explain like, listen, there's a legacy because there's a spirit of the holiday, and it doesn't necessarily always have to do with cheeses or, whatever. It has to do with tradition. And people like to keep up with tradition. And sometimes tradition can be emotional or like, acts of kindness and this. And when you're younger, you don't necessarily understand that. So we have like a metaphor, which is Santa is the acts of kindness, or the Easter Bunny is the acts of, what I mean? Not so much the Easter Bunny, but Santa for sure.
It's so much easier to be a 50s dad. There's no Santa Claus now. Go tell your mom to get me a beer.
There's also part of me that wants to like flip it on them and be like, yeah, so why don't you thank me for those 8 years of presents that you credited someone else for? Yeah. I wrote a list and like just flip it on them so they can. Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
That Play Food Kitchen. The Nintendo Switch. Like I just like you don't even get to sit in this right now. We're going through all the thank yous you owe me.
I've heard of some parents though that when one of the kids finds out that they turn it into like a Santa's like a secret society kind of thing, and then they help prepare it for the other kids going forward. Like you're part of the Santa Claus is a group of us. We do this, and they make it like this magical society to keep the that's why I told you this. This is why we do this, and now you're part of it, and you don't tell them. And when they find out, they'll be part of it too. And
that's
what I mean. It kind of like brings them in. I feel like
it's a lie. It's a lie on a lie. It's a bow on a bow.
Listen, I'm sick of lying, so you do it for me.
Kate, let it go.
I'm just saying, Dickie does this thing. Neil and he loved to read Calvin and Hobbes, and so Dickie started the Calvin and Hobbes fan club that's just him, and like Neil has to do certain tasks like throw a snowball at your dad and then write us a letter and whatever. So he does all this stuff. So he gets mail from the Calvin and Hobbes fan club that we mailed to ourselves, and it feels like it's going to be heartbreaking when it gets found out that it is not. He's the only member. He's the only member.
In the serial killer's den in the basement, all those letters. These were the Calvin and Hobbes things that you made for me.
You guys use leaves as currency at your house too, right? Are you using leaves and stuff?
We've got like pine cones. My son had like a pine cone business going. He's like, I'm going to make artwork, but Justin has to pay me 1 pine cone. I'm like, okay.
You really got into Animal Crossing, huh?
Me?
I think pine cones make more sense than crypto, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
thank you. I like to touch my money.
See that right there? It's the pine cone standard.
That's right.
You know what is currency in our house is food.
Yeah.
Food and gum and any sort of like, anything like that. Lunchables, if there's a certain, like, for example, my oldest, one of the benefits of your child getting older, the 14-year-old, she now does the Ralph's orders for pickup. And so she'll do them. I'll be like, here's what we need, X, Y, and Z. She'll do them the night before and do them for between 7 and 8. And so then I'll take the kids to school and go pick up the Ralph's order. So fine. So this morning when I went and picked it up, there were not the available Lunchables. There were only 2, and I have 4 kids. And the 2 Lunchables, it turned into World War. I don't want to make a joke about 3 huge like thing. So any like any food, any like coveted thing like that is super currency. And also the fact that like the 2 girls can cook the food now. They make the mac and cheese, they do the nuggets, they do, she even does like schnitzel, like breaded. My oldest daughter, I'm not joking, my oldest daughter made homemade Bulgarian pretzels 2 days in a row. And they were,
dude, that snack stand is popping, man. If she's selling she's like, you can have a ring pop. You can have a ring pop or a Bavarian pretzel that I just made.
I mean, she is unbelievable, but that's also her currency with the siblings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. We use iPad as currency. iPad time.
Do you?
Yeah, for sure. If you don't do this, you will cut it. Or if you behave in a way that's generally good, you will earn more time.
Are your kids currently still rocking the Roblox, Carlos?
Yeah, I think my youngest one still is. The other one is into Zoom type music videos or whatever. But the youngest one still is rocking, but segued over to Minecraft. So
okay, because our 6-year-old has now asked about Roblox, and I actually am glad because I don't know much about it. I just know it's it's an online game kind of thing.
That's the only game. My kids don't have iPads or phones. Although my oldest did just get a phone like 2 weeks ago. She's 14 though.
Good.
Out super long time. But they do on their school computers Roblox. That's the one that they enjoy. So Jason, it seems pretty like harmless to me.
It is harmless. Okay.
We have Minecraft and Minecraft.
Oh, sorry. We had to veto Power Rangers here. It was creating a hyperactivity that was not like, he doesn't do it with Marvel stuff. It really was only Power Rangers that was causing it. So we had to,
he was dubbed badly every time he talked to you. It was just like
non-union.
Yeah, I bet Carlos can do it.
Dad, I'm doing that.
Yeah, Power Rangers. Also, like those. There's also like a darkness about Power Rangers. That's like everybody, like your kids are playing at a park, and then like a dragon shows up, and it's like, I don't know. It's a little, yeah.
It really is though. Device time and iPad time, when they come off, there's a little detox personality that they have where it's really psychically, physiologically, psychologically just damaging. I think it's just they're not personable when you say no more. All right. Like, calm down, unplug, and let's just like talk to it. It really is evil, man. That stuff is just, I don't know.
I don't know that I'm any better.
I say, like, I find myself, like, procrastinating during the day, scrolling, and I'm old. Obviously, I'm on Facebook. Okay. So I'm scrolling, and I'm like, just like, my mind is like, oh, just keep scrolling and just looking at these stupid articles and like this stupid shit. And everybody our age, I feel like, is, oh, Facebook is a great way to stay connected. And it is, you can share photos of your kids and stuff, but there's also the algorithm that just keeps you just like attached.
It knows what you want.
Parent understand that with your child. The brain is not developed. The brain is so underdeveloped, they can't control their impulses and instincts like we as, people in our 40s can.
It's like an algorithmic little shop of horrors. You just feed me. And you're just like, all right, I'll feed you with some more scrolling.
Yes.
You do. I do. I get addicted to, and I tell myself I'm not going to do it. And it'll be TikTok for me because those are basically the old Vine. The videos are really short.
Yeah.
They're really at times political or fun or stupid or crazy. And it does. It just keeps you there. I think you want to end, because almost like being in a batting cage or on a golf course, you want to end with one good video that you think will make you feel right. And you go, no, that's not the one. That's not the one. That's not the one. Okay, one more, because that one was good. Maybe another good one will come. It's just it's so addictive.
I'm kind of late to the TikTok game, and that happened to me. Like I find at night that I get in there, and then like my wife will pull up next to me, and we're both sucked in for way longer than we intended.
Yeah.
Me at night, I'm like this in my bed, trying to like solve the John Benet Ramsey murder. Like, that's me.
Yeah.
I go into true crime, and like, I'm like, well, tonight's the night where I'm going to make that breakthrough discovery on, Google or whatever.
You're like, I'll be gone in the dark. You're like Patton's former wife.
Yeah. How good was that, Docu? Did you watch that docu?
Wonderful. Yeah. I remember she was interviewing me. She wanted to interview me she was a member at the Toluca Lake Tennis Club because I lived in Concord, California at the time of the Golden Gate Killer.
My God.
Golden State Killer. And I had remembered as a kid, like, hey, you better watch out. You better stay at home. And unfortunately, I never got around to it. But fascinating.
Michelle, right? Michelle? Was that her
McNamara,
name?
yeah.
Yes, Michelle McNamara, yeah.
I believe so.
Oh my God. If
Kathy
you guys,
or Michelle?
I thought it was Michelle.
You might be right.
You know what? I also might be wrong.
Pardon me?
I have a breakthrough announcement. There is a book.
Oh yeah.
Backpack Dad.
Backpack Dad just said it to us too. Sorry.
Yes. Guy stuff. Okay. Yeah, he texted me also.
Also, we thought you had a breakthrough about John Benet Ramsey's killer.
Yeah, that's what I
was saying. Let's actually.
I will let you know when I definitively solve that murder. I'm also working on a few other cold cases, so I'll let you know about those.
But Claire, if you haven't seen, and for anybody who hasn't seen, if you haven't seen the HBO documentary, HBO, Carlos?
I believe it's HBO, yeah.
I'll Be Gone in the Dark. I remember when Patton, I talk about him like I know him. I'm sure you do, but Patton Oswalt. But I remember him the day they found the guy, being on a plane and like sending a tweet or sending an Instagram being like, Michelle, you got him. And everybody was so emotional about it because he had lost his wife over this. And so it's this documentary about the Golden State Killer and how basically not only was he a serial killer, but he sort of ends up being the killer of Patton Oswalt's wife in a sort of strange way. Sort of the obsession she felt with solving that case, and then a lot of what she came up with ended up used like in actually solving the case. So
but it almost seems that type of scrolling is healthier because it's maybe informational, but it still keeps us up. It I don't know. I think as a parent, my wife's thing is, and I get why now she likes The Bachelor. It's just mindless. We both love Married at First Sight. We both love things that are just not real. You just need your mind to rest.
But it is called reality television, Carlos. Yeah. Because someone is.
Well, and also we all know it's a wee bit produced.
Yeah. Also, people say I literally died. So, you know what I mean? Words don't mean the same thing they used to anymore. Yeah. Right? Like, reality means not real.
Speaking of reality, Jamie Kaler and I went into Oculus together for the first time. And can I just tell you how fun it was to watch Jamie Kaler go into the virtual world?
He's way too literal.
Yeah.
He within
I don't like
seconds.
it. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it.
I like it. I'm busy.
So he,
Oh my God. Can I
within
get sunburned
seconds
in
of
here?
being in there, this kid who sounded like Short Round from Indiana Jones latched onto he and I and was just following us around. And Jamie looked at me. His avatar looks exactly like him. And it turns to me and goes, even here, we can't fucking get away from him.
Yep.
And then Jamie literally walked off a cliff. He finally did it. Walked off a cliff.
He Thelma
and Louised it.
And the kid looked at me and he goes, "Did your friend just kill himself?" And I was like, "He did.
He did.
Yeah, we've actually kind of seen that coming for a while."
I did the total freaking. This has to be fake. America's Funniest Video. Walk the plank, where you walk out on the plank and jump off. I actually just jumped to the side and fell over and hit the couch. When pretty much all you need to do is just take a step. But my mind saw jump, and the kids are like, "You're faking." I'm like, "I'm not faking. I hurt my knee." It was so lame. It's just an old grandpa move.
It's funny. So the Oculus also. So I just got one for my 40th. Dickie got me one, and I have to get a Facebook account because you can't use the Oculus if you don't have a Facebook account. So I'm
finally
very mad about this because I hate when Jamie Kaler wins, and he's been telling me I have to get a Facebook account. But secondly, this is another thing where you're not supposed to have kids under 14 use the Oculus, right?
Oh, it's full of them.
Oh, my daughter, my youngest, was on a game. They were like, and all of a sudden she's like, "Die, you stupid son of a..." Whoa, Austin, what are you playing? And this is not happening anymore.
Somebody gave her ice cold water in the game. Just okay. She was.
And by the way, that is the name of Jamie Kaler's show. I hate you, Jamie Kaler.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Raymond. I hate you, Jamie
Kaler. Jamie, I've never met somebody who has so much going for them. That is such a curmudgeon. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like he's
like he in real life is every character Walter Matthau has ever played.
Yeah. Blanche, I got to do a podcast. All right. Oh, these kids are driving me crazy. I wrote a new guitar song, Blanche. I got to go golfing and make money on a podcast.
Carlos, do you hate being pimped out? Because Jason had a really good game we wanted to play with you. But
yeah, let's do it.
Okay, if you hate being pimped out, we won't do it.
No, attention for me? Jeez, that's awful.
Okay. Jason, you want to introduce it?
Actually, the idea was his from a previous time he was here. So,
Carlos's idea. Oh, okay, perfect. You had mentioned it to us, so I didn't know. I thought it was your idea. Okay, Carlos.
So the game is the one that we talked about a while back, Carlos, where we'll give you a parenting situation and one of your characters, and you give us their response to it.
Oh yeah, and we famously do it with one person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead with your first. What do you want? What do you want to do?
Well, I just want to know, Mike Wazowski's son, or we probably can't say his name. But a one-eyed monster, lovable monster, has a kid that is that needs glasses. That is pretty upset about it. What would that person say? Or what
what I would do? I would show him the old classic George Reeves Superman. But they go, you see this guy that walks into the office and everybody goes, oh, look at the clock. He's the kid with the glasses. But what they don't know is that all he has to do is go into a phone book or a phone booth, which don't exist anymore, and change, and he becomes a superhero. Glasses let you see deeper into the souls of people. People without glasses, they're empty. They're empty. They should be in a sorority. But you, my friend, you're going to be able to see deep into people. You're going to be a therapist. You're going to make lots of money telling people to go back and look at the past and blame their mothers for the whole life. I guarantee it. Wear glasses. You're going to be John Lennon. Hello. You want to be Ringo or you want to be John? That's all I got to say.
John Lennon, hello.
Imagine if you were John Lennon.
It's so good. You guys close your eyes if you really need to heighten that experience. It's wild.
Get an Oculus. Get an Oculus. Is that Jamie Kaler? Jamie, be my friend. Where you going? Don't kill yourself, Jamie. Norman.
Just to preface that, he said to me when we were first going, he's like, I made my avatar, see if you can recognize me. He literally built himself to it.
And he was also just putting on sunscreen.
He was even in the plaid shirt. And I was like, how did you import that? He's like, I don't know, I just have it. Let's see. So let's see. How would Mr. Crocker from Fairly OddParents handle the birds and the bees?
Oh, well, Mother never had that talk with me, but my cat girlfriend did. They would say that when men and women get together, little babies come together 9 months later, all because of fairy godparents! And nothing more.
Love it.
It's also, this is like, it's just so impossibly good. It's like, also, this is, Dickie told you the story, I think, Carlos. Like the most Hollywood experience he ever had was he was at a friend's kid's birthday party years and years ago. And he was like, it was like a SpongeBob party. And he's like, wow, that guy is a really good SpongeBob. And somebody's like, that is SpongeBob.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Okay. If you want to take a TO for a side story. So I'm a big Ray Donovan fan on Showtime, the show. And Bunchy is like one of my favorite characters on that show. He's just like genius, one of Ray Donovan's sons. So cut to like it must have been like 4 or 5 years ago, my son's preschool like Halloween party. And I show up and I'm dressed as like, you know, like one of a German like beer lady. You know?
Hey, Polly girl.
Son's dressed as the Hulk and whatever. And I said to Maria, who was the preschool teacher for all my kids, so we had a very close relationship. Like, oh my god, that guy's an amazing like Bunchy from Ray Donovan. She's like, that is him. That's him.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, I am in LA. That's right.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I had a situation where I walked into a studio to do a animation gig, and I see this woman, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. All right. I don't know you. Oh my God, that's Lucy Davis from the British Office. Oh, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I love you. Yeah, thank you. But I had such a familiarity with the show that I thought that I knew her, and I'm like, I'm a creepy stalker.
I've done that so frequently.
You do it at practice with me.
I do it. Well, I mean, I'm zero chill about you. Let's be honest.
She does fangirl even when you're not here. She does fangirl about you.
I mean, it's like, guys, it's Garcia. Hello.
Yeah. But no, you've done it a couple of times in LA. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I'm like, oh my God, I went to college with that guy. Nope. That's Jim from The Office. That is,
wow.
You know what I mean? Or I'll just be like, you think because you know somebody, especially because cameras are so up close, you know people's expressions. You're like, God, I know that guy. I know I went to school with him. It wasn't as big. I forget who it was, but it was somebody that I was like, no, that was the person from, and I didn't say anything, thankfully.
I wanted to pitch a I wanted to pitch a show where somebody takes a drive down the I-5 from here to San Francisco with their favorite celebrity, and you're just driving for 5.5 hours straight, and see if the dynamic of you being awed by them is still there.
Goes away.
5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, and how would it change? You know, I start here with
who's driving though? Is the celeb driving or is the passenger?
That would matter.
Yeah,
that is interesting, right? Maybe you go back and forth.
Yeah, I think
one way is you driving, but just to get to know somebody, and you know that old saying, "Never meet your heroes." You know.
Yeah.
You stop being fascinated by what somebody has done. We were lucky enough to work with Robin Williams, and I knew him briefly from stand-up, but on both Happy Feets. And I don't think we ever stopped being amazed or comfortable. I mean, we had maybe a total of 20-something days working with this person and even knowing him, but that didn't seem to wear off. But I wonder, how long would it take hanging with the most uber celebrity, political, poetic, musical figure in your life? Would it ever wear off? Would it ever?
Well, I think like when
it's a great question.
There's different levels. Like if you're at the let's just take it out of celebrity for a second, take it into sport or politics. Like if you're at the Barack Obama, Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? Like Shaquille O'Neal, the Larry Bird.
If you're a black man, she wants to say if you're a black man.
Larry Bird, I said Larry Bird. If you're at peak performance in your category, that's totally different than being someone which I would consider Robin Williams, by the way, at peak performance.
Oh yeah,
he was
Correct.
in that category. Robin Williams, Meryl Streep, Al Pacino, Martin Scorsese. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The old school gang. That's different than being like, oh my gosh, I really love, you know, somebody. I don't know. I'm trying to think of, you know, a middle.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear you say, because you're about to shade somebody.
You know what's interesting? Yeah.
I can't think of a good example, you know, but someone who's like really well accomplished, but maybe not like an elder of the craft.
But
Sure.
isn't sort of the point that anybody's Michael Jordan can be anybody? That if
That's
somebody's
true. It is
somebody's
definitely
Michael Jordan.
It's subjective.
Yeah, like I gotta tell you, like I think Phoebe Waller, like I would never, if I ever met Phoebe Waller, like and you might say like, well, she just has done Fleabag. She's not that, but I would not be able to, like I couldn't, like I would just be trying to do like takes to her and stuff.
I met William Sanderson at a dog benefit event, and if you don't, I know him from he was Sebastian in Blade Runner. And you know, so
I was like in Little Mermaid. Oh no, okay.
No, and so, but yeah, I was thrilled because I so identified that movie. Getting to meet Linda Blair because I love The Exorcist, and just like, yeah, I rescue dogs and pit bulls. Even Mark Hamill, who you meet because of voiceovers, and so yeah, there's people that, and I think the kind of the magic I think of Robin Williams and George Miller when we worked together is those were the type of guys that were so universally known, but didn't make you feel like you had to be interesting to sustain their interest in talking to you. Because that's the pressure for us, right? If we met a Michael Jordan, like, I've got to be interesting. I've got to be interesting. I've got to say something fantastic. And they're probably like, no, you don't. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, you know, the echelon, the small little group of people I've met at that level have been so inclusive and so like, hey, I just want to include you in this conversation and not anyone who wants to, like you said, you know, harvest like your own jokes or your own interests. It's just they're there to sustain, and they're almost like performing in a way still in that personal conversation.
Yeah.
I think the real test of that TV show, Carlos, would be what happens when you get to Sacramento and somebody steals the tires off the car.
Exactly.
I feel like that's when it gets real. That's when
a helicopter lands. Sorry, Carlos. My other ride's here. I gotta go. Wait.
I guess I'll take the high-speed rail in 20 years. I don't know. Exactly. I guess I live here now.
I'll get in the onion mobile. In the garlic mobile.
So Carlos, this is a little divergent from, you know, parenting, but it's interesting because you mentioned like you're in the position of parenting your kids, but also in a way parenting your parents, you know, your mother.
Sure. Yeah.
Who's in the elder care. What was the definitive sort of moment, or how did you realize like, okay, I need to get like her memory care? Because I feel like a lot of times we look at our parents and we're like, it's slow, or we don't know when. Like, I'm, you know, kind of just curious of your journey.
Well, I was informed she was living in a place in the Bay Area where they said, you know what, we think your mom is kind of losing her short-term memory a little bit. And my brother and I would argue, no, she just can't hear, blah, blah, blah. And they go, no, we really, really, really do. So we moved to LA in March of last year. And my brother had been taking care of her for a long time. And we get her in, and then they say within a couple of months, listen, she was wandering last night. And I still think I'm defensive. No, you know, she wandered one night. What's the big deal? But then maybe around 3 or 4 months into it, so maybe June of last year, you start to notice, oh, yeah, she is forgetting names. She'll look at a picture and go, who's that? That's Ed. That's your son's son. That's, you know, so-and-so. That's Davis. And then I think it was probably about June of last year where I went, yeah, it's time for the memory care floor. She's not as quote unquote, let's use the term, far gone as some of the others. She's still very vibrant and can remember lyrics and songs and things like that. But, and I think that she can't help it because you live the same life every day. You know, and what is so fascinating is that my mom was like the first Latin American priest ordained in the United States, right? From Argentina. Really? Methodist and Episcopalian priest, was a substitute teacher. My mom, as
the Episcopals rock, man. Women priests, let's do it.
Yeah, she had a really big life, But now it's reduced to this room on a memory care floor where she's watching TV, playing bingo, and won't get out unless I take her out to the park once a week, or play Yahtzee. And so they leave these really small lives. And so I realized it last year. Yeah, it's time. It's time. And
does she know your girls?
She does. And she'll sometimes get their names wrong when she looks at a picture. But when she's at the house, she's there. She gets it. But she goes back to the room, and then it's CNN, and then it's sleep, wake up, shower, let me help you with this. So you can see why somebody would lose track of what day is it. I mean, we took her to a memory care exam, and the lady's like, you know what year it is? She's like, no. But why would she have to? She doesn't need to know the year. So therefore she doesn't.
The reprieve of getting older is like we kind of absorb those responsibilities again. You know, it's the physical caretaking. You know, and the emotional and mental. I mean, I'm exploring this a lot with my mom. She's 75. My father's gone. You know, and I'm just kind of like, you know, looking at what the next 5-10 years are going to sort of look like. You know,
it's hard. It's not a super tangible thing. You'll feel it. Other people will advise you, and you know, you can take those memory tests or memory aptitude with certain doctors, and you'll learn a lot. You're like, oh gosh, I thought they did know that. They don't know that. And it's kind of hard to accept it, but maybe not, because you know, I talked to my therapist about it. She goes, listen, your mom's not sad or happy. She's being taken care of. She doesn't sound like she's pretty upset. She's kind of accepting it. You know, so hopefully there's that kind of acceptance too. I think it would be harder to like, no, why are you doing this to me? You know, then it'd be like, oh God.
Well, bless you for going in twice a week. Cause I know, you know, some people, when their parents start to go down that road, and I've heard of it happening, they stop visiting, and then the parent is just there existing, and the kids aren't there because they can't emotionally take that on. But then it's fantastic that you're going in and doing that.
There's a person on her floor who is the mom of the wife of one of the firemen on Reno 911, and she recognized me, and I said, oh wow, and that kind of made me feel better. What a small world that we're sort of we are joined together in this journey now, where I've probably never been closer with my mom, and that frightens me. Also, her, as I said at the beginning, her mortality frightens me. But I go in there and I see the people that work with them, and it just is. You go there and you eat the lunch with them, and it's the small portions, and we play Yahtzee, and we go for a walk in the park. One time I saw this guy walks by and he goes, what did he say? He's like, how you doing? That's nice that you're playing with your mum. It ended up being Gavin from the band Bush, right?
I probably thought I knew him from high school.
Exactly.
Kevin Roston, I went to high school with him.
But it was, so I like it. It's challenging. It scares me, but I like it. Because I sometimes think, like I said, God, so a person that had this huge life is now just living this small little life. And I just want to just do what I can and get there. And I'm digging it. It's filled with emotions, from fright to love to joy to everything. So.
I'm going to be like hitting you up privately for advice, but that brings me to my next point. Carlos, are we peaking now? Are like we all peaking in our life at this moment? If we have think so. And we've been from here, what's happening?
It's relative to the experiences or to what we want to build from here. We're not limited to our situation, right? Take a trip. You can still challenge yourself creatively. I don't think so. I don't think we're peaking. I think we have some time left.
Listen, I'll tell you what, Carlos, let's drive to Sacramento, just you and I. I gotta see one of my heroes fall, and then I will let you know if you're peaking or not, okay?
Exactly.
By hour 5, I'll let you know.
Oh, my wife was a big fan of the show Reno 911, and we get together. She's like, oh God, this guy farts, picking his nose all the time. Shit,
I actually wonder that, like, would it have been better for you if your wife didn't know.
No, because she didn't have a crush on me. She liked the show.
She's like, she had a crush on Dangle.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that entered the picture in as much as she loved the show so much, and it was something that she enjoyed in college. It's weird. If you don't know, Claire, that we have a 19 and a half year difference, my wife and I. And so we sometimes think about it and sometimes don't. But no, I don't. But back to your original question, I think because my wife is younger, I've had my kids late, that I don't want to peak yet. I revere these guys, and we were at Point Dune Beach, and I see this guy swimming out past the breakers just in a straight line, and he's riding the waves in gracefully in pretty tumultuous surf there. It's not great surf there. And he just guides himself in. He gets out, pulls off his hoodie, and he's like this 75-year-old man with a knife.
Yes. It's like Patrick Stewart. He was there.
I want to be that guy. That guy's not giving up. He's not giving up. So, from my cold dead hands, we all have. Go ahead.
Do you feel like your kids keep you younger? I mean, do you feel like that's the case?
Yes. Well, at the same time, leeching all your energy off. They do. Yeah. I love going to our little practice where our kids are running around, and sometimes it's long and it's hot.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing, but there's something, it's part of the beautiful dance, right? It's all Our Town and It's a Wonderful Life. You kind of feel like these moments are fleeting, as boring as they are. So yeah, I think it's keeping us in the game.
We live in Grover's Corners. I'm not sure if you guys knew that, but that's where Carlos and I live. It's a town called Grover's Corner. Our town reference. Don't worry, guys. Theater nerd.
Grover's Corners.
I played Rebecca Gibbs in Our Town when I was like 10. Goodbye, clocks. Goodbye.
Yeah. We're not dead. We're still kicking, man. We got a lot of adventures too. And think about it as like, I want to create more memories for my kids, but you get to be there too. So
are your kids sort of awed by what you do, or is it just dad?
I think it's just dad. I think I'll find my daughter sometimes bragging in front of people like, hey dad, that guy likes your Rocco shirt. My dad, but I don't think so. I don't think so.
I bet it is different around. Like, I'm sure when people are like, my dad does, I bet they do brag about you.
I am cool by proxy. I know Tara Strong. I know Scott Minville. I know the cast of Teen Titans Go. I know the guy who did High School Rock, the series. So my daughters will listen like, Dad, do you know him? Do you have his number? Can he call you? So I'm cool by proxy because I've worked with all these people. Your dad's been around. So that I get street cred through that, not because of me, because of the people I've worked with that are more famous than I am.
Listen, I'm not saying on the trip to Sacramento I'm going to ask for Niecy Nash's number, but it's possible. I'm going to ask for it's possible. Because I am trying to kidnap you.
I got you.
You were at Six Flags today?
Yeah. My sons don't have spring break the same week. So I get to make each week magical separately. So this is my younger son. He's not in the school district. Yeah. So you guys listen, I hate to brag, but I'm a Diamond Elite member at Six Flags.
Wow.
Okay. So we can go any day of the year, no blackouts, which means that any day of the year I can go feel disgusting and as if I've acquired some sort of communicable disease, not even talking COVID. I'm not sure that I didn't get Hep C today. Okay. I don't know that we just don't know.
At least you didn't have to wait in line.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say this, Six Flags rocks because they put in that brewery, swing ride, and now you can have beer while you are, shepherding your children.
You can't if you are the only parent and you're the only one driving and you're going to be there for less than 3 hours. But I will tell you, I think the greatest beer of my life, I went with a bunch of girlfriends, like maybe last year, maybe like right in that magic window where it was like Delta hadn't showed up yet, but we had all gotten vaxxed. So there's like a magic window where like, I think I'm living again. So yeah. So we went and it was like 104 out that day. And we just I remember sitting down in that bar and it was cold. It was like one of those Mango Cart Golden Road beer. It was probably one of the greatest. It was one of the highlights of my life, if not the best beer of my life. It was it went down.
Windswept hair.
Oh yeah. Just actually mostly just stuck to my forehead because I was sweating so much. for being honest.
Wow.
But yeah, it was, he loved it. He doesn't get me alone ever. He's the second kid. So he's along at Big Brother's practices. He's, it's
he's
second.
cute.
He's
I
cute.
told him he was a supervillain and that he was stealing all the ice cream with Zoe, little Zoe Cartiala. I told your younger son and Zoe that they were stealing all the ice cream in the community and turning it into bad flavors, taking it back to their secret lair, adding an extra ingredient, making it taste good again, and eating it all.
Yep. It's unbelievable.
How did he react to that?
He was like, no.
He sold me some ice cream that tasted good. Then he made it taste bad. And then Zoe said, don't worry, I'm going to make it taste good again. And I was like, well, now Zoe is my child and James is for sale. Does anyone want to buy this child? Yeah.
Zoe is cute.
Two pine cones.
Yeah.
And Zoe also, James, two pine. Sorry. Yeah, James also, speaking of letting your freak flags fly, I don't know that we were speaking of that, but James got himself, we go to Costco once a week usually, and he saw a hot pink outfit that he needed to have. And I said, yes. I don't usually, when a kid points and says, I want that, I don't usually say yes, but he wanted that hot pink outfit that he wore to practice the other day. And I feel like I can't be the first person to make him feel like, I'm like, so I say like, yes, you can. And everybody was so nice. Nobody said anything to him. I always am like, oh boy, I hope nobody, I don't mean parents. I just mean like a kid being like, why are you wearing, because for a while he used to.
Is Neon Pink coming back? Is that on its way back?
I don't think it ever left. How dare you?
Oh yeah, I used to wear a hot pink improv T-shirt in San Francisco. Derek, the manager, wore it when we were backpacking, and he just owned it. I'm like, I want that hot pink T-shirt.
Yeah. My wedding shoes were hot pink.
Just say it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month every month for him.
Yeah, that's right. Oh boy.
Well, Carlos, thanks for joining us. Where can people find you?
At Twitter, at carlosalazraqui.com. My movie, Witness Infection, that I co-wrote with Joe Michelle Melean, is free on Tubi or VOD if you want to pay Carlos and Laura back, who invested in it.
Yes.
Instagram, I have a little feature called How I Came Up with the Voice, or How the Voice Was Created.
I love that, by the way.
And on TikTok, and I think I'm on Facebook as well, so you can find me there.
Sorry, say the name of the movie again, Carlos.
Witness Infection.
I'm literally writing it down. I'm writing it down.
You can see him on Saturday. You can just ask them.
You guys, we have a 5-hour drive ahead of us tonight. I need to have something to talk about. Okay, say
hello, Kettleman City. Take you to the Tesla Lounge. Then I'll woo you. There's an awesome Tesla Lounge in Kettleman City. It's pretty futuristic. Yes.
I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of Fresno. Big Fresno fan.
No, we're not going the 99. We're going 5.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I can take this trip anymore. That was really aggressive.
There are rules. We are not taking the 99. We are taking the 5.
Can I just ask, what would Garcia, I can't let it go. I have to pimp him out. What would Garcia, oh no.
That's okay. I'll get a new pair. Okay. Oh, my CVS glasses. What will I do?
What would Garcia say about the 5 versus the 99?
5 versus 99 is basically the 5 would be a 223 Remington round fired out of a semi-automatic weapon versus a 22 caliber piece of crap 99 Highway 99 bullet, which would basically not stop a flea's ass. So take the 5.
I wasn't ready for the
wow. I didn't even have to break my glasses for that. Did I have to break my glasses for that?
I don't know. I'm here.
That's some dad cred, though. That's some serious dad cred that you broke them out. You're handling that.
Super glue, baby.
Oh my God. When you guys try to hide the fact that you're laughing by stroking your mustaches.
Oh, that's me. There is a great
it is post. It's also Robert Ben Garant.
Oh yeah. There's a great post I posted with Niecy Nash when she doesn't win the lottery. You could see me breaking. And then I think we posted the one with Wendy. I just did Wendy's podcast today when we're at dinner and I say, I'll have the chicken quesadilla and she will have something of less than or equal value. And she breaks. We broke each other like 10 times.
Oh my God. I
She
saw
didn't
the
see
one
it coming.
the one of you with Cece when she's all blurred out and you're at some point like, God damn it, Cece.
There you go. Damn it, TT. Why'd you have to do that? Oh yeah, she got me. I completely broke character. Forget it.
I will say one of the greatest stand-ups I've seen, and my parents happened to be in town. I did a stand-up show that Nick's. This was it was a lifetime ago. It was a lifetime and 40 pounds ago for me. But I did a show that Nick Swardson. It was at the Improv. Nick Swardson came out and did. He was one of the funniest so good. And I'd had his album, but he did this whole thing about like, what's worse than babies dying? Baby suicide. Sometimes like he just does this whole thing about having left a baby in a bathtub. I couldn't believe it when I got back and it killed itself.
Oh man.
I mean, it's just like I'm not doing the joke justice, but like
yeah.
Terry.
Oh,
I've got
so
my
good.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Well, I will see you Saturday, Kate. I'm gonna run because I screwed my knee up and I can't play, but I'm gonna go base coach for my softball team that's gonna get mercied tonight.
Hey,
so
how about it?
Carlos, thanks for filling in for Kaylor, and we always love having you. Come back and hang again soon.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye, Claire. Sorry about the dolphin fillers.
I'll manage.
All right.
Bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well,
Claire.
that was honestly, I've peaked, just so you guys know.
I did like 10 years ago.
Oh God. I'm like, well, it doesn't get better than that.
Really, went in there. I didn't know about the age difference between him and his wife.
I didn't either, and I know them both.
Great, it wasn't a call out to peaking, not peaking, but it's just like, hey, like if you're taking care of your parents and also your kids, where you must be close to the apex.
No, I know exactly what you meant. No, you didn't. I mean, I remember describing it when I stopped nursing. I was like so distraught about it because I had done it for basically 4 straight years, which I know is nothing compared to what you did. But but that being said, I remember being like, and now like I'm not going to weddings anymore. I'm not going to bridal showers or baby showers now all that's left to go to is funerals. And somebody had to point out to me, they're like, okay, there's kids' birthday parties still. And then also those kids are going to get married and have stick around. But I did feel like a sort of sense of like,
well, there's like
it's all over.
You have to reevaluate, especially as a woman, you reevaluate where you are in life like a few times throughout your life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And definitely like the baby bearing for me, we had kids. No, obviously I have, my best friend has no kids and has chosen to have no kids. Several of my friends have 0 to 1 kid. So no judgment. But for me, it was like, oh, this having kids phase was like a really important phase in my life, And then once you're like, okay, I'm not literally going to be pregnant, having kids anymore. Like that's over. It's done. It's hard to accept in a weird sort of way.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It is. And it's, I mean, it's because I don't know. You feel like I felt like my superpower was gone. I felt like my body was only going down, which continues to be true.
But you're such a good mom, though. Like I watch you with your kids. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you, Jason. I mean, I love. That's what I'm saying. I do love them at this age. I also am sure I'm going to love them. I mean, I think there's something about like the independence of like seeing your kid go off to school and knowing that they're like navigating things by themselves. Like, I don't know, there's like a certain pride that comes from that, or like, I don't know. I think every age is the best age so far.
Well, I think I'm going to enjoy, my relationship with my kids when I'm visiting them in prison.
Just one of them, unless Jace was an accomplice.
Just the Dark Lord.
Oh, yeah, listen, I agree.
Here's my daughter calling me.
There she is. I know, we should wrap up anyway. What's the point? Carlos Alazraqui's not here anymore.
Yeah, wrap it up, guys. You guys can wrap it up. I opened it.
All right. Well, I will. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Claire, you do it. Okay,
I'll start. Everybody, Every Tuesday night we're here. We hang out. We love to have cocktails, and we love for you to weigh in on our conversations. So you can find us on the Parent Lounge on Facebook, the Parent Lounge on Twitter. Also, Kate Mulligan, Claire Kramer, Jason Goodwin, and also Jamie Keller, who's not here. We're just filling in for him. And Kate, take it away.
Thank you. Yep, dirty dolphin noises. Like, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. The number of views helps, but also the number of you that go back and listen, or that if you go back and rate and review it on, it takes a couple seconds. Just give us, give us 5 stars. I don't know. Did I do stars? Is it a thumbs up? I don't know.
Stars. You're right. You are correct. It is stars.
5 stars. Give 5 stars, guys. Yelp us. I don't know. Probably don't Yelp us. Listen, you guys are all a bunch of wonderful people. I hope that you guys had a little reprieve from your own parenting. And if nothing else, I hope you enjoyed seeing me make a fool of myself in front of Carlos Alazraqui. Thank you to him.
Great, Kate. I'm here to tell you, you were fantastic. Very funny.
Zero chill about him. Zero chill.
I think he knows, though. I think he knows. He accepts it, so you're good.
Especially because I'm always like, "Hi, Carlos. Your kid looks good today." Like, I'm just not cool. Anyway, you guys have a great Tuesday night, all of you. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next week on the Parents Lounge. Good night, everybody.
Mwah.